The People's Democratic Party, PDP, will be hoping to sort out all its internal issues as soon as possible in order to work in synergy towards the 2023 elections. If the main opposition party will challenge the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, then the party has to get all its major stakeholders on board. With the appointment of the governor of Plateau State, Mr. Simon Lalong, as the Director General of the Presidential Campaign Council of the All Progressives Congress, APC, the leaders of the ruling party have united behind the party's presidential candidate, Senator Bola Tinubu. In contrast to the APC's united house, the People's Democratic Party has continued to be bogged down by the governor of Rivers State, Mr. Nyesom Wike, whose demands have stalled the efforts of the main opposition party to reconcile its aggrieved members. This is coming as the agitation for the resignation of the national chairman of the party, Senator Iyorchia Ayu, has persisted, despite the ongoing efforts to reconcile all aggrieved parties. Joining us on this show this morning, right now, as we discuss efforts being made to sort out the internal issues within the PDP, is Dr. Emmanuel Agbo, former Deputy National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party and former Benue State PDP Chairman. Welcome to the morning show, Dr. Agbo. Good to see you.
My brother, Doc, I am very, very pleased to have myself here in your studio and to throw a few lights on these issues you've just raised. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Agbo. Quickly, how divided is the PDP?
Yeah.
Do you have any special concerns about the crisis within the party, beyond telling us that, oh, this is normal in politics? This doesn't quite look so normal.
Well, like I said, I am happy to be here. And like you said, how divided is the PDP? But the question truly from me is the PDP actually divided as is being made to be seen? Because certainly that is not. Today, there are issues, and you agree with me, these issues are born out of our conventions that gave birth to the emergence of His Excellency Atiku Abubakar as the presidential ticket bearer of our party. In all democracies, in all party politics, issues of emergence of ticket bearers normally are attended with disagreements that internal mechanisms of the party are always deployed in solving them. I think much more than the real facts on the ground is that I'm not referring this time to you and your media house, Arise, but interest groups sponsored by possibly the party in government and all other emerging parties that are seeking for the same office with us have tried to use a section of the press in making, properly to put it straight, mountains out of, sincerely, what does not really exist, Mount Hill. I think we are supposed to, in the larger interest of our democracy, in the larger interest of our nation, assist all political parties to ensuring that there is stability as all the parties move into 2023 with a view of the Nigerian populace choosing who they actually want to preside over them 2023 and beyond. And I want to state, if we do not take very seriously what this country is being faced with today, challenges of economy, challenges of insecurity, and we begin to think that, yes, let us destroy one political party for the other, and at the end of the day, we get what we do not want in 2023, all of us are here and stuck, and it will be worse for us. So I want to answer your question directly by saying, yes, there is some degree of dissatisfaction amongst a section of members of our party. But certainly this is not beyond what the internal mechanisms of the party will address.
Right. Dr. Agbo, should Senator Iyorchia Ayu resign as PDP's national chairman?
It's nice that you have asked that question. Possibly, if this my show with you, this session with you was a week or two back, I would be tempted to answer your question very frankly. But I want to add very quickly that you are aware of the joint committee of 14 distinguished Nigerians, 14 very faithful and loyal party members, 7 apiece that have been put together by these two groups. And they are sitting to begin to work. At this point in time, I want to believe that a lot of progress is being made in the direction of whether somebody should resign or somebody should not resign. Because the issues in contentions are going to come before this distinguished panel. And I want to enjoin leaders of the party like myself, national leaders of our great party like myself, that we should resist the temptation of publicly taking side with any of the groups, so that the 14 distinguished Nigerians that have been put together can actually look at the overall picture, the interests of the party, victory for the party, and then come out with whether it is to, national chairman is to stay, national chairman is to go. Now, individuals coming and making statements that will undermine the working of the committee, I think it's not advised. It's on that premise that the answer you may be looking from me, that whether he should stay or not to stay, will not be coming. I think at this point, every of us that are actual leaders of the party should direct answers to such questions to the committee, if eventually those are part of the conditions for a united PDP.
But sir, are you supporting injustice? Because your constitution states it clearly as a party that you cannot have presidential candidate from one region and the leader of the party, national chairman, from the same region. It is clear your constitution states by now the national chairman should have resigned. That's what your constitution states. So are you here sitting and supporting illegality and going against your constitution because of the gains of whatever faction is on ground? Is that democracy? Is this the party that want to run Nigeria?
Wait, so that you don't jump into conclusions, my brother. What I said and what I am saying is that leaders at my level should not use national platform given to them to continue to advance disagreements within the party. And that since this committee is being put together, of the 14-member committee, I doubt if there is no one who does not know me or that I do not know. In the same vein, there are all national leaders of our party and known to these former governors, former senators, mention them, former ministers that have been put together into this all-important committee. And the committee, certainly knowing the members of this committee, that they will give listenership to all leaders of our party. And that if, per se, Dr.Agbo today stands on Ayu should stay, I should carry that on to the committee and advance why, if I stand on Ayu should go, I should carry that to the level in the workings of the committee and advance why, and not make it national, public issues for discussion on televisions that will further aggravate the position the party is. I'm not, so if you cannot begin to say by virtue of what I've just said, that leaders should show leadership and loyalty to the party, to say that, yes, I am saying that we should against our party. But let me correct certain things. There are no direct provisions in our constitution that says chairmanship is here, the presidency should be here. None. We agree it's conventional that we have presidency. Once we have presidency, all other positions are zoned to the 6th geopolitical zone, taking a cue from the national chairman that will now go to the opposite side. But this is not the first time, and this statement I want to make is not in any way saying that I am supportive of whether somebody should stay or not. But this is not the first time somebody has to stay from the same zone to prosecute an election, and once victory is gotten, he has to resign for people to come in. We had it at the Ahmadu Ali time. I am not advocating for it in any way, but all I am trying to say is that what is before Nigerians, what is before our party, is we must earn the support of Nigerians in an electoral victory in 2023 February. And once that becomes the uppermost, every other things can be discussed, can be understood with each other. When you go to the court of equity, you go with clean hands. When you go to a negotiation table, you must be prepared to give in certain things, and you must be prepared to receive certain things. It's going to be a give and take. Now that the committee is there to put all of that together on our behalf as leaders of the party, to go for extreme sensationalization of the issues on pages of newspapers and the media is what I am advising against. And that does not make me stand for anybody at all. But my interest, and I want to believe the interest of any leader of our party today, is victory in the February election of 2023. Anything can go for it. Our leader, the candidate of the party, with the distinguished Nigerians he has put into this committee, should look at what will end victory. He has to necessarily haven't taken the ticket for the second time. It's a must do. He has to give victory to the People's Democratic Party in the next election. And in the process, everything that should end victory for the party, he must be open to it.
Okay. Dr. Agbo, I get your point. Okay, your emphasis on the election and winning the election. That makes sense. After all, political parties are organized to grab power, to win elections. However, the people who are pushing that Senator Ayu should step down, they are raising constitutional matters.
Yes.
Contrary to what you said, Senator Ayu himself is quoting sections 45 and 47 of the PDP Constitution to the effect that he has a 4-year tenure and that he's not going to step down, he has not resigned. But the Wike camp, as it has now become known, is quoting section 373C of the same constitution, which says there should be diversity, there should be inclusion in terms of representation within the party. But above it all, people are saying there is a question of integrity, that Senator Ayu having used his own mouth to say that if the candidate of the party, presidential candidate that is, comes from the north, then he will step down. So, I mean, I don't know what you want to say about that issue that has been raised about integrity. But beyond that, how much of a threat do you think that the Wike camp poses to the ambitions, the objectives, the goals of the People's Democratic Party? Because that's the catalyst for all of this.
Well, it's nice that you have, again, for purposes of emphasis, brought this. I'm going to take the issues one after the other. One, let me start with the very last. Wike, as a governor on the ticket of our party, who came second in our presidential primaries, and who has been there for the party without any iota of doubt over time, has earned for himself support, loyalty, and followership of a significant membership of our great party. And the party isn't taking this for granted. Now, as regards to inclusiveness, as regards to taking cognizance of the diversities of Nigeria that is being expounded in our constitution, that is built. If you look at the composition of this National Working Committee today, 17 positions are 8 and 9 south and north, to balance the geopolitics. Today, the national chairman is in the north. We must not forget that the national secretary is in the south. If we begin to over-insistence on the national chairmanship must go, fine and good enough. Are you going to have the national chairman south, national secretary south? If you go a step further and you begin to ask for the national secretary to move from the south to the north, you are now going to begin to look at the total foundation of the party. Are we prepared for that now? Because what, like I have said, should be uppermost on the minds of all leaders of the party is victory 2023. So now, on the side of whoever is saying that he is elected for 4 years of the party is not cut out for that, yes, because you are elected for 4 years, you must be there for 4 years. Secondus was elected for 4 years. He did not complete 4 years. Too many other national leaders of the party were elected for that period of 4 years. They stayed 1 year or 2 years. I am not saying this to say that, yes, because of that, you must go tomorrow or so. But what I am saying, what I continue to insist on as a leader of this party, genuinely with the interest of this party forming government in 2023, is that all the issues should be brought to the table and we will look at it, and that no sacrifice should be too much for any particular individual to make for the victory of this party, even if that is going to be for the resignation of the chairman. Talking about the issues of integrity, they are personal. Today, if he knew that, yes, as he was coming on board, that there is any such agreement between him and anybody, well, yes, I will want to believe, knowing who he is. He is from my state. He has been a leader that has led us in the state. And there is one thing that Ayu stands out for clearly. Ayu is a man of absolute integrity. That cannot be questioned or contradicted at any point in time. And I want to believe, if truthfully and truly he went into that agreement with any section of the People's Democratic Party leadership towards his emergence, then it's only a matter of time, knowing who he is, that he's going to very honorably live up to that agreement he has with the people. All I am saying, in upholding such, it should not bring down the roof of the party and deny us the chances of electoral victory, because this is an election for us for the taking. I don't want to go, since this is not campaign period, I don't want to begin to go into whether somebody has failed, the party has failed, government has failed, or what. That's not what I'm here for. I am here now to say, come, look, as part of the defense building mechanism of our party, everyone, inclusive of the press, I beg, all of us leaders of the party, at all strata of the leadership of the party, particularly at the national level, must put our hands on deck, submerge our interests, submerge sectional interest, personal interest, group interest. Today, clearly a candidate has emerged. A running mate has emerged. The party is supposed to now be fully committed to the strategization for the victory of the party. And in doing so, nothing should be too much to be given up on either side.
Except the party clearly is not in that frame of mind. They don't share the same view that you do, that the party has to close ranks. How damaging is this to Atiku Abubakar's chances at the presidency in 2023, the washing of dirty linen in public in this manner?
I don't want to agree with you that the party is not in that frame of mind. The party certainly, even our brother, the governor of Rivers State, knows much more than any other person that any attempt to assist any other political party to victory other than his own political party will be counterproductive, even to himself as an individual. But yes, because this is a game of what is in this. Today, as we speak, there are 2-3 governors that are with him what are in need for these governors? What are in need for the followership of these governors? I think this is all that is just a matter of interest, and that yes, we must come to an agreement that informing government once victory is gotten, we will stand by our words, we will stand by the promises, and whatever we have jointly agreed moving forward to the election, that all interest groups will be protected. And in doing, I don't see anything too, that is too way out of the ordinary in terms of the request that is being put on the table by, like my brother Dr. Agbo tried to refer to it as the Wike group. I don't think that there is anything too way out of the ordinary. Politics is about interest. Politics is about, yes, I am going to be supportive of you. We are going to work for you. We are going to have victory. Once victory is gotten, what is in it for me? Everywhere, the world over, these negotiations and give and take have been done by all political groups, especially those that go into contested elections. So, to say that the party is not in that frame of mind is totally not correct, my sister. But yes, there are issues that certainly leadership must agree upon to ensure that as a united family and as a united party, we go into the elections for the victory that is almost here for us as a party.
Okay, Mr. Agbo. You see, but the argument by some people, a lot of people, is the fact that your party keeps bridging its own constitution. I'll give you another one, because there's a case in court now by one of the aspirants about zoning, and they've taken your presidential candidate to court. Your party constitution section 7.3c says, adhering to the policy of rotation and zoning of party and public elective offices in pursuance of the principle of equity, justice, and fairness. Has your party done all of that? Because your former party chairman, Zakau Barje, was saying that there's no zoning in your constitution. And you know where I'm going to. Concerning this Atiku Abubakar debacle and Wike debacle, you have breached your own constitution about zoning, and now you're being taken to court as regards this. And you say everything is well in your party?
Well, let me answer you very quickly, because I think I am privileged to provide very sound and logical arguments that the party did not breach its own constitution. I want to start by this. Today, I, who is your guest, was the secretary of the committee that was put together by the National Executive Committee of our party to look at the reasons why 2019 eluded the party, even though it was publicly acclaimed that we won that particular elections. Now, we went through the length and breadth of this country.
But the law says you lost the elections. But the law says you lost the elections. You know, the law says you lost the elections. The conduct
of that exercise, it was generally agreed across board that going into the 2023 general elections and pronouncing zoning as to either north, south, was going to be so detrimental to the chances of the party. And that it is after elections are won, then all other positions will now take cognizance of the interest of the party. Take, for instance, we've done the first very needful. Once the presidential candidate emerged, certainly we couldn't have gone to any of the zones of the north to go and pick a running mate. We went down to the south. It is in the same vein that other positions of the party that will be gotten as a result of our victory. Mention them: Chief of Staff, Secretary to Government, Senate President, Speaker House of Reps, National Chairmanship, and a host of all others will now take cognizance of our diversities for complete inclusivity in the act of governance. So that the provision of the Constitution you are asking does not at any point in time says go and zone to A or B. And the party in its wisdom put up a committee to look at all the tendencies that resulted in our loss and to see what we will do that will brighten the chances. That committee, I was secretary of the committee with the executive governor of Bauchi State, His Excellency Abdulkadir Bala Mohammed, as chairman, members drawn up from all the 6 geopolitical zones in this country, and we, after due consultations, ended up with it should be thrown open once any section of the country gets the ticket. Other balancing acts can thereafter be deployed. Now, you are aware that the committee report was accepted to the party at NEC, notwithstanding, because some forces, especially as being motivated and driven by a section of the Nigerian media, wanted PDP to go to a particular section of this country. And it ended up in, again, setting up another zoning committee headed by the very distinguished Nigerian, my own governor, Governor Samuel Utom. And the 29-member committee came up with the resolution that look, in accordance with what the earlier committee did, it should be thrown open. That in itself is zoning. It's zoned to the whole of Nigeria. And now that it has clearly demonstrated, the result has clearly shown which part of Nigeria, other positions will go to the other segments of the country.
Okay.
Thank you very much,
Thank you so much.
Dr. Emmanuel Agbo. Thank you.